One of the primary Enneagram concepts that links 1s and 8s to each other is what's known as the triad centers. 1s and 8s are both in the gut center, which is typically the least understood group, as most people are far more familiar with the metaphor of the head and the heart, aka the thinking and feeling centers. Gut types are primarily influenced by their instincts, which are these strong physical impulses that they can either choose to act on, ignore, or suppress. Now, 8s usually prefer to act on their impulses, while 1s typically try to suppress them, but that's why this couple can bring a nice balance to each other's lives. Speaking of balance, this couple can also share a 9-wing, as you can have an 8-wing 9, aka the bear, or a 1-wing 9, aka the idealist. Meeting at 9 is usually a great way for this pairing to bond over their mutual desire to savor the present moment. Again, as gut types, this couple is primarily rooted in the body, and the body can only be one place at a time, whereas our thoughts often pull us into the future, and our emotions make us dwell on the past. With that said, you don't typically find your average 8s and 1s basking in the peaceful acceptance of the present moment, as their egos drive them to either control or perfect their current environment. 8s and 1s often feel like they just can't relax because there's so much they could or should be doing to make the most of their resources. Now, this inability to let go and accept reality is what causes some fairly constant waves of anger, if not a deep sense of rage. However, the bright side of their shared outrage is that it motivates them to take action, and they often embark on a noble mission to improve the world by fighting injustice. Now, on the not-so-great side of things, this constant anger can make 1s and 8s a bit demanding, domineering, and, in search of another D word, douchey? Dark? No, destructive. Let's go with destructive. Ironically, many 8s really don't mind going down this more destructive path if it gets the job done, whereas the 1 would be mortified to be seen as the bad guy. Now, this is where I get to use my favorite Batman analogy, because 8s love the idea of being a wealthy vigilante like Bruce Wayne, whereas 1s would much prefer to work humbly within the justice system like Commissioner Gordon. Again, they can make a great team, so long as their outrage isn't used to justify some cruel or destructive behavior. Okay, one last small trait that comes up a lot when these two types cohabitate is their shared understanding of and respect for their daily responsibilities. This makes them great at dividing up chores based on who's better at what, like usually the 8 cooks and the 1 cleans, and typically no one's bitter about the other person's contribution. That's also because this couple has a shared disgust for laziness, and this makes both partners hyper concerned about pulling their weight when it comes to having a nice, secure living environment. All right, those are just a few shared traits that typically bring 1s and 8s together. Time now to zoom in on what specifically attracts the Type 1 reformer to the Type 8 challenger, and vice versa. Thank you so much for watching You've Got a Type. If you enjoyed that clip, then why not watch the full video it was taken from right here? And if you really enjoyed it, then maybe hit those like and subscribe buttons before you go. No pressure though. Just happy you're here.